Hi, I'm Chasten Pravnik, and for the next few minutes, I'm going to be your life coach. So welcome and thank you for stopping by to watch this video. I made this video because through my coaching practice, I see so many parents that are just really frustrated with their teens. I see teens that are unmotivated or not feeling good about themselves. And I remember what it was like to be a teenager. Feels like a long time ago, but at the same time it feels like just yesterday. I can take myself back there and think about the struggles, think about how little I actually thought of myself. And I, kudos to my parents. I was raised in a really nice house. I was given lots of opportunities, and still there was so much self-loathing. So we can't go blaming anyone. And it's certainly not your fault that your teenager might be struggling, but I do want to give you some tools today that can hopefully enhance your relationship with your teenager's overall mood and self-love, and help you too. So today I wanted to talk about 4 different tools and techniques that you can take home with you and try out on your family, whether it's your teenagers, younger kids, older kids, spouse. The entire family can benefit from these tools. First, maybe you want to know a little bit about me. How did I get here? Like I said, I remember being a teenager and just never feeling good about myself and hiding away and not wanting to engage with my peers, and I didn't. I was a teenager, like most of them are. You're hormonal and you have a lot going on and you're starting to become independent, but you're not quite independent yet. And all these mixed emotions, you're trying to figure out who you are, who you want to be. You're, leaving kind of the childhood behind, but you're not quite an adult yet. It's a really, really interesting time. So anyways, typical teenager. I was very career focused personally, and I left high school, jumped into the working world, ended up going to college as well. I got a degree in psychology and started building my first business. By the time I was 30, as happy as I would tell myself I was absolutely miserable. And when it all boils down to it, is I wasn't authentic to myself. I was trying to be what I thought everyone wanted me to be so badly, because I didn't like me, or I didn't think I was good enough, just the way I was. So I spent the next several years doing a deep dive, uncovering my subconscious programming, rewriting my core beliefs, and starting to love myself. And the result was amazing abundance in all areas of my life. Amazing abundance in love, amazing abundance in self-esteem, amazing abundance in self-worth, amazing financial abundance, amazing, relationships that I struggled with, whether within family or friends, blossomed and they became strong and, really powerful relationships. And I wish I had these tools when I was a young person, when I was a teenager. I wouldn't have to sit and suffer. I wouldn't have to have gone through decades thinking that I wasn't good enough just the way I was. And so that's what I'd like to give to the world, is this understanding that you are enough just the way you are, and that there are ways to shift your mindset so that you can see that. There are ways to shift your mindset from a place of lack, whether it's love, money, career, to a place of abundance. So let me get back to these 4 techniques I want to tell you about today, because I think these are really cool. They're very, very simple ideas, and they can drastically change your life, your teen's life, your spouse's life, your kid's life, and ultimately change any area you want in your life. All right, so the first one I want to talk about is gratitude. Now this is something I've implemented into my own personal life. Every time we all sit down for dinner, we go around the table before we start our meal and say something we're grateful for. Gratitude's amazing. It can really raise your energetic frequency. By energetic frequency, I'm basically talking about your mood, how you're feeling, the emotions you're experiencing. So this is a tool that helped me climb out of the deepest, darkest holes, because there's always something to be grateful for. And most often there's a million things to be grateful for. So this is a great tool to start implementing, not only for yourself, I mean, use this on yourself, especially if you're struggling or you're just, overwhelmed, exhausted, overworked, underpaid, the whole shebang, right? Gratitude. All right, so think of something you're grateful for. If you're down, if you're mad, if you're, bad things are happening in your life, start listing out your gratitude. Now, in the moment, this can be difficult. You're like, there's nothing to be grateful for, and everything's just falling on my head all at once. Well, the first thing you can be grateful for is that you're alive, and as long as you're alive, things can change. So that's always the number one gratitude I reach for if I can't think of anything to be grateful for. Number 2, do you have 5 senses that are working? Maybe you don't, but what senses do you have that are working? Sight, hearing, speaking, moving. Is your physical body able to carry you where you want it to go? Even if you have an assistance in some sort, a wheelchair or a walker, your body is still there carrying you, the real you, around. Another thing to be grateful for. The device you are watching this video on. Another thing to be grateful for. It connects you to other people. It brings you information. And by no chance was this a coincidence that you're watching this video right now. The home you live in, the family you do have, even if you kind of don't like them at the moment, you still have an amazing family. Gratitude. Expressing gratitude is guaranteed to lift how you feel. And as a side note, science has also proven that people that express gratitude more often tend to have healthier hearts. So, in a time of a pandemic, anytime really, a healthier heart, not something to scoff at. All right, pretty simple, right? Gratitude. It's one of the most powerful tools I can give you. The second tool I wanted to give you today is just as simple and just as powerful. Actually, it's probably so simple, half of you won't even try it because you're gonna be like, lady, that's never gonna work. And that's fine if you don't believe me. But humor me and try it. What do you have to lose? Okay. The second tool is setting intentions. Setting intentions is incredibly powerful because it tells your brain what's going to happen. And when your brain is told what's going to happen, it starts to look for the evidence of that thing happening. Let's say you know you're going to have a stressful day at work. And you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm going to have a stressful day at work. It's reports, or the boss is coming into town, or someone called out sick, or who knows what, right? You woke up that morning and you already decided you were going to have a stressful day at work. That is an unintentional way of setting an intention. And I guarantee you, you will have a stressful day at work. And at the end of the day, you're going to be like, well, see, I knew I'd have a stressful day at work. In psychology, we call that a self-fulfilling prophecy. Setting an intention. Your brain is going to look for the evidence of what you tell it is going to happen. So when you wake up in the morning, set the intention for how you want the day to be. If you know you're going to go to work and there's going to be a lot of things to deal with, set the intention that work is going to run smoothly and all the chips are going to fall into place exactly the way they're supposed to. And start watching the power that setting intention can bring you. Because you've told your brain that things are going to run smoothly, that everything is going to fall into place. And your brain is going to start to look for the evidence of it all. And here's the cool thing. The same exact events might happen, but you're going to feel a whole lot better throughout the entire day. Remember, there are 360 degrees in a circle. And around any event or in any day, around anything, you can circle the entire thing, which means there are at least 360 perspectives you can choose to see that event through. As humans, let me tell you, we like and we tend to see the worst case scenario. Why is that? Interestingly enough, it's a choice. We're unconsciously choosing to see that worst case scenario perspective. But I'm here to tell you, it's a choice. And now that you know that, you can consciously choose to see it differently. So setting an intention. You can do this for your whole day. You can do this for a specific part of your day. You can do this for individual segments of your day. You can do this for your sleep. Sidebar, my sister is a terrible insomniac. She doesn't fall asleep easily. She can't stay asleep easily. She has 3 children, 20 horses, 3 or 4 dogs, a couple rabbits, a few cats. She's got a lot on her plate throughout the day, and she runs her own business. So this woman is physically active, mentally active all day long. She needs a good night's rest. And she was telling me one day about how, she doesn't sleep well. She says, I've never slept well. It's who I am. How many of you have told yourself something like that? It's just who I am. And so she wakes up more exhausted than she goes to bed. And then she repeats this day with these kids and these horses and these dogs and these rabbits and these cats and the whole family and her business. Don't forget about that business. So I told her the secret about setting an intention. I said, Rosie, before you go to sleep, I want you to set an intention about your sleep. Something along the lines of, I set the intention to fall asleep quickly, to sleep peacefully through the entire length of the night, to sleep deeply so that my mind and body can rest, to wake up just before my alarm, feeling rejuvenated, rested, and excited for the day. So she gave it a try. She called me halfway through the next day and says, Jazz, you won't believe this. I just realized this, but I actually feel great. I got a real night's sleep last night. I said, you set an intention, didn't you? She says, I did it, it worked. So every night now, before she goes to bed, she sets an intention and she gets a good night's sleep. And every once in a while, I'll get a phone call from her. I'm feeling tired today. I'm just so exhausted. I forgot to set my intention last night. And we both have a little chuckle. So now her new norm is rested and rejuvenated feeling in the morning, because her new norm is to set her intention. And she definitely notices when she doesn't. So tool number 2 I want to give to you today is setting an intention. Have your kids practice this, even the littlest ones. Have them practice it. My nephews practice it on the way to school. They're 4 and 5 years old. They don't quite understand the concept of intention, but they're starting to grasp it. But you can. Your children can. Certainly your teenagers will understand setting an intention. And they might grumble because, let's be honest, that's what teenagers like to do. Until we get into their minds and start shifting their mindset, teaching them that they're in charge of the reality. And if they're grumbling, they're choosing to grumble. It's no one else's fault. No one else is making them do it. But that's a whole different lecture. Tell them to humor you. Give it a try. What do you have to lose? All right. So Tool number 3, time management. Have you seen a teenager try to time manage? It's not really the greatest thing. If they had their choice, most likely homework's getting pushed off to the end while they watch endless hours of video, right? So I teach my teens in my coaching program, about time management this way. We all have tasks we have to do throughout the day, whether it's homework, going to school, online school, doing the dishes, folding the laundry, walking the dog, taking the trash out. Teenagers' obligations, right? As an adult, this isn't that hard. And we want to sit there and look at them and be like, you have no idea what I do all day long. You only have to do these few things. But put yourself back in those teenage years, right? Your teenage years, like, everything is a big deal to you. So this is how I explain it to my teenagers, and you're welcome to use this analogy. Every day we have a backpack that we wear, a figurative backpack, all right? And every task we have for the day, from making your bed, to going to school, to doing your homework, all those tasks that you'd probably rather not do, is a brick in your backpack. And they're loaded up first thing in the morning. And every task you get accomplished, you take a brick out. So, in the art of procrastinating what you need to do something that you want to do, you have to carry this backpack full of bricks. And even though you're doing the fun thing and you think you're getting what you want and you're putting off your responsibilities, you are carrying the weight of that to-do list. And on top of that, that's probably also going to include the parents nagging at you to get things done because you've procrastinated. And you as the parent, these things have to get done. You're trying to teach your child responsibilities. I get it. So tell them to throw in one more brick for parents getting on their back. Literally, figuratively. See how I did that there? So the child has a choice. The teenager has a choice. Would they rather enjoy their activities with an empty backpack or no backpack at all? Or do they want to try to enjoy these fun activities that they want to do, carrying a load of bricks around? Right? It's going to be really hard for them to honestly say, no, I'd rather have fun carrying 2 tons of bricks on my back than quickly unloading them and be able to have fun without carrying all that extra weight. Because from an energetic standpoint, that's what we're doing. When we've got that to-do list and we're putting that off and we're procrastinating, we are carrying a backpack full of bricks. We're carrying the weight. So when I teach time management, particularly to teens, I try to present it in such a way that they can have more fun doing the things they want, and they'll actually create more time. They will spend less time arguing with you when you're trying to convince them to get their chores done. That's time that they can have doing fun things. They will have less stress because they're not carrying the weight of that to-do list waiting for them. And overall, they will be lighter and happier. And if you happen to be a procrastinator too, maybe use this analogy on yourself. Think about it in the morning. Think about, why put off till tomorrow what I can get done today? Why put off till later what I can do now? Luckily for me, I learned this one early on, and I get everything I have to do, particularly the things I don't care to do, out of the way right away. And then the rest of the day is mine. I do what I want, how I want it. Okay, I have one more tool for you. And this is another one that you can do as well as encouraging your family to do. In the beginning, we talked about self-worth and the lack of self-worth that plagues so many teenagers. I call it mirror work. When someone first asked me to do this, I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds dumb, but I'll go do it. What did they ask me? They asked me to look into a mirror, look into my own eyes, and say, I love you. So, grudgingly, I went and found a mirror. I looked in the mirror. I went to open my mouth to say, I love you. And the words, I could not say them. They would not come out. And that was an amazing moment of awareness for me. Why couldn't I say these 3 little words looking into my own eyes? I said these regularly to my family, to my horses, to my pets. But when I looked at myself in the mirror, I literally could not utter these words. And that was when I first realized I had a lot of digging to do. So, go up to a mirror. I like to do this in the morning, when you're washing your face and brushing your teeth. Stop for a second, look at yourself in the mirror, like, I love you. Take it from there. You're awesome. You're beautiful. You're very kind. You're compassionate. You're excited. You're curious. You're good to other people. Whatever it is, say something nice about yourself. And maybe you'll find, or your team will find, they can't say I love you. That's okay. We'll get there. So start with one thing you like about yourself. Maybe it's a superficial thing. Maybe it's a quality. Maybe it's a characteristic. Maybe it's your hair. Maybe it's your smile. Maybe it's a simple fact that you had the courage to stand there and look at yourself in the mirror. Maybe that was the hardest thing you could do. Be proud of yourself for that. Be very proud of yourself for that. Because there's people that can't do that. And there's people that don't have the courage or haven't found the courage to do that. But these are the small steps, not only to build your awareness, but to build your self-worth, to build your self-esteem, to build your confidence. And when you're feeling incredibly good about yourself, and this is a big one for teens, nothing anyone else says to you can rock your boat. You stand tall like a mighty oak in a storm. It's like, bring it on, wind. Try to knock me over. I am so strong within. I am so rooted to the earth. I know I am good enough at my core that nothing you say, my friends say, the mean kids at school say, your boss says, it's going to knock you over. And let me tell you, that is a powerful place to be. I wasn't always there, but I am so glad I'm there now. Mirror work. So let's just recap really quick. 4 things you can implement today. Gratitude. There's always something to be grateful for. Even if you force yourself to say that first one and maybe the second one, by the 3rd or 4th thing you can be grateful for, you're already feeling better. It's all in your mindset. It's a perception with which you see the world. 2, setting intentions. Setting intentions is going to tell your brain how the day is going to go, or your sleep. And your brain's going to look for evidence. And your body's going to behave and do as you tell it overnight. 3, time management. For every task you have yet to do during the day, you're wearing a brick in your backpack. Unload those bricks and life will be lighter, easier, and more carefree. Get them unloaded early in the morning when you first wake up. And 4, mirror work. Learn to talk to yourself like you talk to your loved ones, like you talk to your best friend, like you talk to your dog. Try these 4 tasks, and I'm going to tell you your life is going to start to change. Start every day. And I'll throw in one more for you. You only have to start shifting 1% a day. And in less than 4 months, your life can look completely different. Thank you for stopping by and listening to this video. And as a bonus, anyone who listens to this video, please feel free to book a free consultation with me. I'd love to hear about you. I'd love to know about your kids. If I can help your teen or yourself with any struggles you have in any areas, please feel free to reach out. I am here for you, and I wish you lots of love